There was a time when growing older was something to be proud of. Elders were seen as some people who were wise, experienced, essential. Their advice mattered, were treasured, and younger generations naturally looked to them for guidance. In many Eastern cultures, this respect was very visible. Older adults were not pushed aside, they were pulled closer. Important decisions were made with them, not without them. But in the modern world, in our society, something has changed. Especially in many Western societies, growing older is often seen not as rising but as fading. Wrinkles becomes something to hide. Turning 50 or 60 is often surrounded by mm, jokes instead of celebrations. We now live in a culture that its idol is youth. Youth is associated with beauty, speed, relevance, attention, and aging is often treated as a problem to delay. But what if we have misunderstood the whole story? For most of my life, I believed something simple, that getting older would naturally bring peace, patience, wisdom. I imagined slower mornings, more gratitude, less stress. But when I entered my 50s, I noticed something unexpected. We had lived through decades of raising children, building careers, families, managing responsibilities, and we didn't have time for being happy. So these responsibilities were not necessarily happier. We experienced those responsibilities, but they didn't make us happy. Some were more restless, some were more anxious, some were more even bitter. And I found myself wondering, wasn't this supposed to be the good part? Over time, I realized something important. Aging is not simply a decline, it is a shift in priorities, values, identity, and how we relate to ourselves. In earlier years, life is loud. We run for milestones, from one milestone to another milestone, for degrees, for careers, families, responsibilities. We try to prove ourselves, and often there is no time to stop and ask, am I actually happy? But after 50 something changes, we begin to slow down, not because we are weak, but because we begin to value peace, presence, authenticity, and new question appears. Questions like, what truly brings me joy? Who do I want to spend time with? How do I want to live the next 20 or 30 years? These questions can feel uncomfortable because they challenge the identities we spent decades building them. If I am no longer a full-time parent, who am I now? If my career has changed or ended, what is my purpose now? But with the right mindset, these questions are not frightening. They are an invitation to rediscover ourselves beyond titles, beyond roles, beyond expectations. After 50, our emotional world also becomes deeper. Memories return more often. Childhood moments, old friendships, first disappointments. And we begin to reflect on the journey that shaped us. But aging also brings something beautiful: emotional resilience. We have lived through storms and survived them. We have failed and recovered. We have been disappointed and continued. There is wisdom in that kind of survival. Another discovery often appears after 50. We no longer feel the need to prove ourselves to everyone, not to colleagues, not to society, not even to our past selves. Instead, we begin to live with more honesty, not selfishness, self-respect. Of course, the world doesn't always honor this stage of life. Ageism exists. It appears in job interviews, stereotypes, jokes about aging, and so on. But this is exactly why rethinking aging is so important. Growing older doesn't mean shrinking, it means unfolding. With age, we gain the ability to appreciate simplicity, notice beauty, connect with what matters. Small habits help guide this. Things like a morning walk, a gratitude, meaningful conversation, learning about something new. These remind us that we are still growing, still evolving, still becoming. Aging is not a problem to be solved. It is a chapter to be lived fully, proudly, consciously. So perhaps the invitation is simple. Stop apologizing for your years. Start honoring them. become the kind of elder you admired when you were young. Wise, grounded, deeply human. If this reflection resonates with you, I explore it more deeply in my book, How to Live a Happier Life After 50. You will find the link in the description below. Thank you for watching.